The steady rhythm of the machine reminds Albert of a lullaby. He thinks he remembers reading somewhere a long time ago that every breath we take has, at one time or another, already been taken by another person. That an atom once inhaled by the likes of Einstein or even Christ himself could, in theory, be part of the breath you take today. That's how people live forever, he thinks, and this small thought brings him comfort. The lullaby becomes slower and slower until it doesn't sound like a lullaby at all. It doesn't sound like anything. Albert exhales one last long breath and closes his eyes to the world. Maria watches her patient's eyes slowly close. She leans over him to check the machine, and as he breathes out, she breathes in, taking in a lungful of his final breath. "Sleep well, Albert," she says, and turns the machine off. It's always been the hardest part of her job, but Maria tries to mark the passing of every patient she treats, tries to remember them in her prayers at night, wishing them safe passage into the world beyond. She knows little about the man who has just died, but she'll pray for him just the same. The afternoon sun shifts in the room, and Maria places a sheet over her patient, shrouding his body in crisp white linen. On her way home from the hospital, Maria passes the statue. She passes every day on her journey to and from work, but she's never really looked at it, never really seen it. But today something stops her, and she finds herself looking up at it, examining every curve and line which was long ago carved into the stone. And she finally sees what she has missed all those times she hurried by, finally hears the overwhelming noise of gunshot and lost cries in the dark and pitiful night. He was just a boy. They were all just boys, she thinks, and a tear runs down her freckled face and lands on the petals of the blood-red poppies. A young boy stops and watches Maria. "You all right?" he asks. Maria turns, startled by his voice. Yes, I'm fine. I don't know what came over me," she replies, and takes a deep breath. The boy nods, and as Maria breathes out, he breathes in. Then he walks away. The boy, Michael, puts his head down and walks into the wind. The air chills him, his thin denim jacket offering him little protection against the cold. He feels a little lost. He's not supposed to be out right now. He didn't get permission, but he had to get out. He had to leave that place and breathe in the fresh air. He's never understood how they can call it a care home when the last thing they do is care. The wind picks up, and Michael goes into a shop to get out of the cold. He stares blindly at the shop's shelves, letting the heat soothe his wind-bitten fingers. Then something catches his eye. It's just a stock picture, really, one that comes with every frame, so the customer can see what it looks like with the photograph inside. But once Michael sees it, he has to look closer. The image is still, yet somehow alive. And suddenly Michael remembers family gatherings from long, long ago, when people lived in shades of sepia and summer lasted forever. He remembers laughter and a beautiful woman who turned the world from grey to glorious technicolor. And the man loved her so. The shop door opens, bringing in the winter air and bringing Michael back from the memory that doesn't belong to him. He exhales the breath he has been holding, and the wind catches it and carries it out of the shop. The breath travels over the little town, floating on the wind. Its atoms and molecules slowly disperse like seeds from a dandelion. The townspeople below breathe in and breathe out, each breath a continuation of what has come before and what will go on long after they have left this world. And somewhere, Albert smiles.